Hello everybody and welcome. Hope you're all well. Today we are moving on to bigger and better things. What we're going to be doing, we are going to be creating basic web server on our ESP32. And with this web server, it's a real basic one. We're going to be writing in HTML. So this is going to be your first experience of HTML. It's going to be a simple little web server where we turn on and off a couple of LEDs. That's all. Keeping it simple. We are going to be moving on to more complicated web servers in the future. This one is just to give us our basics. Let me just quickly show you the circuit. Right, it's a simple little circuit, couple of LEDs, right, the long leg we're going to pin 26 and 27, right, 26 and 27, short leg goes to a resistor, about 220 ohm, all right, 220 ohm resistor, and then from there a jumper wire going to ground, and that's for both LEDs. So a nice simple little circuit. But the sketch is not so simple. So what I may do is I may split this video into two. But we'll see how we're going. And if we're going okay and the time's not it's not taking too long, we'll carry on with we'll carry it on. All right, so it's all time dependency. I don't want to make these videos too long because some people can get bored with long videos and doing long sketches. But anyway, we'll try it and let's go from there. Right, let's go over to our Arduino. Right, first thing is new sketch, file, new sketch. Okay, there we are at a new sketch, and then we want to make sure we're on the correct board. If you've got more than one board as I have, there you go. I'm on the W Rover module on COM7. All right, now here we go. First thing we need to do is load our library. So it's hashtag include. All right, and it's greater than, and it's Wi-Fi.h. Wi-Fi.h, and then it's greater than. Now you should have installed this library some time ago from a previous video. If you haven't, please go back to the first Wi-Fi library and it'll show you how to load Wi-Fi. All right, so that's loading our Wi-Fi library. Next thing we need to do is put in our network credentials. Right, so it's const star, all small case, space, star, all right, SSID, space equals, quotes. And now you need your SSID for your Wi-Fi network, the name of your Wi-Fi network. Mine's TP link underscore, and it's 97E7. All right, that is my name of my network. Semicolon, enter. Then you want const star, and then it's password. All right, space equals, quotes on, my password is, all right, come outside the quotes, semicolon. All right, so that's your SSID credentials, your network credentials. All right. And then what we need is to set the web server port, right? And the normal port web server address is 80. So it's Wi-Fi server, capital W, capital F, capital S, server, space, brackets on, 80. Come outside the brackets, semicolon, enter. Now, we need to set a variable to store the HTTP, which means Hypertext Transfer Protocol, request. All right? String. Now, I'm not going to go too much into things like Hypertext Transfer Protocols. We're not here to be engineers. We're here to communicate with our kids, aren't we? Okay, header. All right, semicolon, space. Now we need to set our auxiliary variables to store the current output state. Right, so it's string, space, output. And that output is all small case, all right? It's not bumpy text. 26, state, capital S on the state. Right? Space equals space, quote, off. From outside the quote, semicolon, enter. String, output, state. Sorry, 27. 27, yep. State equals quotes off. From outside the quote, semicolon. All right, so what that's doing, that's putting our pins 26 and 27 to the state of off. All right, now we need to assign our GPIO pins, so it's const int output. So they're both outputs. 26 equals 26. Semicolon, enter. Const int output 27 equals 27. Semicolons, enter. Right. Now, the next thing we need to do is set the current time. Right, we need to set the current time. Let me come down a bit. Unsigned. Long. Previous time. Capital T on the time. All right. And it equals minutes. Brackets on, brackets off, come outside the bracket, semicolon, enter. Now we're going to do, that's the current time. We're now going to do the previous time. So it's unsigned, long, space, previous time. So we've got current time. Let me just change this to see the mistake. I must have jumped a line. Current time equals millis. This is previous time. I spelled previous correctly this time. Capital T on the time. Space equals 0. Semicolon, enter. Now we need to define a timeout time in milliseconds. For an example, obviously we've worked with milliseconds before. 2000 milliseconds is 2 seconds. All right, let's const space long space timeout the time with a capital T equals 2000, so 2 seconds. Semicolon. All right. So that's our variables and attributes done. Okay. And our objects. All right. Now we're going to go to the void setup. I'm going to take this out. And I'm going to put a few spaces in there. Remember, void setup goes between the 2 curly brackets. Enter. Right. First thing we normally do in the void setup. Serial. Dot. Begin. Brackets on. 115 200. Or, oh, I'll put 6 in there. Or whatever you've got your baud rate set at on your serial monitor. Semicolon, enter. We're now going to initialize the output variables as outputs. All right, we've done this before. In mode. Capital M on the mode. What a silly Billy I am. In mode. Brackets on. And it's output 26. Remember we named that up the top in the const int. All right, comma. And it's an output. All capitals. Come outside the brackets, semicolon, enter. And again, pin mode. Brackets on. Output 27. Comma. Output capitals. Come outside the brackets. Semicolon. Enter. All right. So that's set our 2 outputs, 26 and 27. 2 outputs. All right. 2 outputs. Now we need to set outputs to low. All right. So what do we use for this? We use a digital write. Capital W on the right and brackets on. Output 26, comma, low. All capitals for the low. Come outside the brackets, semicolon, enter. Digital write. Brackets on. Output 27, comma, space, low. Come outside the brackets, semicolon, enter. All right, so that's set our outputs initially to low. Now we need to connect the Wi-Fi network to the SSID, our ID, and our password. Serial dot print hit me caps lock. Serial dot print brackets on quote. Remember, whatever we put in these quotes is printed. all right, is printed. And we're going to put here connecting to. Come outside the quotes, come outside the brackets, semicolon, enter. It's serial.print line. LN for line. Brackets on. And it's SSID all small case. Right, come outside the brackets, semicolon, enter. Let's come up a bit so we can all see. And then it's the next command is Wi-Fi, capital W, capital F. All right, a Wi-Fi dot begin. Brackets on. SID, comma, space, password. Come outside the brackets, semicolon, enter. Next, we've got a while command. A little bit of space in there. Let's come down a bit. While. Space, brackets on. Wi-Fi, capital W, capital F, dot status, Wi-Fi dot status, brackets on, brackets off, from outside the brackets, space, exclamation mark, equals, and this is all capitals, WL underscore connected. All right, WL underscore connected. Come outside the brackets, space, no semicolon, curly brackets, enter. We'll put our argument in delay. Brackets on, half a second, so it's 500 milliseconds. Come outside the brackets, semicolon, enter. And then it's serial.print. Brackets on, quotes, full stop. Come outside the quotes, come outside the brackets, semicolon. And come outside the curly brackets. Do a couple of spaces. Now we're going to print local IP address to start the web server. All right, so it's serial.print line. LN for line. All right, and brackets on. And it's quotes. Come outside the quotes, come outside the brackets, semicolon, enter. Serial.print line. Remember, LN is for line, okay? Brackets on, quotes. Wi-Fi, capital W. All right, Wi-Fi connected. Okay, so this is going to tell us that when we go to our serial monitor that our Wi-Fi is connected. Put a full stop in there. Come outside the quotes, come outside the brackets, semicolon, enter. Serial.print line. Brackets on, quotes. Right, and then, excuse me, IP address. Could put a quotes in there. Sorry, a colon in there. Come outside the quotes. Come outside the bracket. Semicolon. Because we need to know our IP address when we want to log into our server on our ESP32. Enter. All right. And so serial.print line, LN, brackets on, quote. All right, Wi-Fi, capital W, capital F, dot, local IP. The IP is capitals, brackets on, brackets off. Whoop, let me just see what's going on there. Print line. Now that I haven't put quotes for this one. So I'm hoping that's going to be correct. So we've got the brackets on, Wi-Fi dot local IP, brackets on, brackets off, semicolon, enter. Right, so that will then give us our local IP address. I don't know if you've watched other videos, but mine is 192.168.0.132. If you took a note of your IP address when you've done the other videos, it should be the same. The next command is server.begin. All right. Brackets on, brackets off. I'm outside the brackets, semicolon. That is our setup. Quite a big setup. I did say it was a long sketch. All right. Now we're going to come into our loop. Let me just take this out. And let's put some spaces in so we come up a bit. All right. Now our void loop goes between these two curly brackets as always. So we'll enter that. And we're in our void loop. Right. What we want to do now is listen for incoming clients. So the server will be listening for our call from our mobile phone. Right, so it's Wi-Fi client, capital T on the client. Right. Wi-Fi client, space equals space server dot available. Brackets on, brackets off. From outside the brackets, semicolon, enter. All right. And we'll have another end on there just to give us a bit of room. So now this next part of the command is what happens if a new client connects. So if space, brackets on, client. All right, come outside the brackets, no semicolon, curly brackets, enter. Current time equals millis. There's capital T on the time. Space equals millis. Brackets on, brackets off. Come outside the brackets, semicolon, enter. Previous time equals current time. Capital T on the time. All right, semicolon, enter. And then we need to know that there's a new client, so we're going to print the message. So serial dot print line ln brackets on quotes new client full stop. Right, come outside the quotes, come outside the brackets, semicolon, enter. String current line, capital L on the line, equals quotes on, quotes off, come outside the quotes, semicolon, enter. All right, so far so good. Let's come down a bit. We now have a while command, brackets on, current client got connected. All right, brackets on, brackets off. Come outside the brackets, space, and space, current time, space, dash, space, previous time, capital T on the time, space, less than or equal to, bear with me, time, out time, capital T on the time. Come outside the brackets, space, curly brackets, and enter. All right, so this is what that command is doing is loop while the client's connected. All right, loop while the client's connected. There's no semicolon, current time, capital T on the time, space equals, quotes on, quotes off. Sorry, wrong. Okay, I'll jump the gun a bit there again. Current time equals millis. Brackets on, brackets off. Come outside the bracket, semicolon, enter. Right. So, if, another if, brackets on, client, dot available, sorry, available, brackets on, brackets off, come outside the brackets, no semicolon, curly brackets, enter. All right. So if there's bytes to read, right, from the client, this is what I want you to do. Right, this is what I want you to do. Char, space C, equals, client read the bytes. Sorry, read. Right, so you read the bytes. Brackets on, brackets off, space. Sorry, come outside the bracket, semicolon, enter. Serial dot write C. Dear. Serial dot write. Brackets on C, come outside the bracket, semicolon, enter. Then header plus or equal to C, semicolon, enter. Right, what I think we'll do, we're about halfway through the code. All right, header muscle appliance C. what I think it'd be advisable to do, check our code. Let's check our code. Let's verify it. Let's check our code. Make sure we got no issues. It's good to do this. If you've got a long sketch, you know, you can verify, you can check your sketch bit by bit. You haven't got to wait until you've written the whole sketch. All right. Okay. We're just compiling. Remember, we're not uploading. Remember, this is just verify. We're just verifying our sketch to this stage. Well, there you go. And there you go. We're doing all right. No issues. So what I'm going to do at this stage is say we're about halfway through the sketch. We'll stop it there. All right. We'll stop it there. So have a break, whatever. I'm going to be having a break and then carrying on with the code. All right. Hope you enjoyed this part of the video. All right. So far. All right. Please give us a thumbs up. Subscribe. And I'll see you in the second half. Bye-bye.